Hello! Today I'm practicing the E chord, or rather kind of learning the E chord. Not for the first time, but I couldn't tell you. I think this is the E chord here. I think that's E, but I'm not certain. First finger on the second string, first fret, and well, maybe you can see where the other ones are. So let's carry on with this JustinGuitar.com course. By the way, I haven't watched every single video because the picking video, I don't even have any picks yet. They're arriving on Friday. And, you know, some of them are kind of just sticking to the chords at the moment. I know there's something about strumming coming up, which I'm not looking forward to. So, but this is E chords. Take it one step at a time.
The lesson on with a look at the E chord. Now, a lot of people find the E chord a little easier than A and D, and the reason I pop it into lesson 2 is because if you've done your homework and you've practiced your A and D and you've got those changes up, when we add in the E,
I did, by the way, just do a bit of practicing with the changing between the A and the D chord, so I think I'm getting better at that now, practicing those 1 minute changes. I did a few just before I started this video, so you know, I think already I'm seeing improvement.
Feels a little bit easier, and the repertoire choices that we've got with those 3 chords becomes huge all of a sudden, so it's a lot of fun. So this is what an E chord looks like. It's actually a pretty cool one because we don't...
So I was wrong. It wasn't the second string, it's the third string, and I think these were one below where they should be, so they should be up, I think. Yeah. So I was almost right, kind of.
Have to worry about not strumming any strings. We're going to strum all 6 strings for this chord. Now, as usual, we're going to start with the first finger. First finger's going to go down right next to the fret in the first fret on the 3rd string. So 1, 2, 3 in the 1st fret. Then we're going to put second finger down right up next to the fret again, but not right on it for reasons you're going to see in a second, but a tiny little bit back, and that's the 2nd fret of the 5th string, the 2nd thicker string. And then 3rd finger is going to go down right next to the fret there on the 4th string. So
this clearly does look easier already than both the D and the A, because the A is so cramped and the D you have to stretch. So this is I think easier, not just because of practice, but just because of where the finger positions are.
So the 2nd and 3rd fingers are in the same fret. That's why I said to you, if you put your 2nd finger down there right next to the fret, you're trying to get that 3rd finger in is going to be pretty difficult. So 2nd finger will sit a little bit back from the fret, 3rd finger will be right next to the fret. So 1st and 3rd fingers right next to the fret, 2nd finger will go just a little bit further back. Now the key thing here, again, when you're learning your new chords, is the strum, pick out, strum. So we start off by giving it a strum.
That seems kind of complicated in that bar. So you don't play the top one or the bottom 2 ones, but you play the middle 3 ones, I guess.
Just a little bit further back. Now the key thing here, again, when you're learning your new chords, is the strum, pick out, strum. So we start off by giving it a strum, then we pick out the notes one at a time.
Oh no. Oh no. What's going on? I'm confused. Hang on. 1, 2. Oh no, okay, you do play all of them actually. I'm confused because these circles on the screen mean it's just an open string. Whereas I think with the D and the A chord it had an X instead of a circle, I think. So you do play all of them.
Now the key thing here, again, when you're learning your new chords, is the strum, pick out, strum. So we start off by giving it a strum, then we pick out the notes one at a time.
Oh, that's not good.
And then we strum it again. Now, when I was learning this stuff, I found it really difficult to use a pick for picking the notes out one at a time. So don't be upset if you're going to use your thumb and just go through and pick out the notes like that. That's totally cool as well. Like I said, you do the best you can here. You try and push yourself a little bit. That's okay. But don't feel upset if you find using the pick really difficult, because I certainly did when I was learning this stuff. Now, a couple of things about the hand position and the thing.
Don't even have a pick right now.
Top, and that's kind of a normal thing for me when I play naturally these days after having played for 30 years. At this point, you want to be keeping the thumb around the back of the neck, and that's really important. The reason is that we want to build up this muscle here between the first finger and the thumb for when we play these things called bar chords, when we're going to play like whole shapes and we've got to press all the strings down at once. So
I don't think I got to bar chords last time, years ago.
And with the thumb around the back of the neck. Now, exactly where it goes will depend on your anatomy, because everyone's got a different shaped thumb and it sits in a different place. So it should generally be
not too different, I'd hope.
In the top half of the neck of the guitar, okay, roughly. It's not exact, so because like I said, everyone's slightly different. For some people, the thumb kind of points a little bit more toward the headstock. For some people, it points a little bit toward your face. Other people, it's straight up. You've got to find the place where it feels comfortable for you, where you feel like you can get good pressure on the fingers. Okay, so don't be stressed about like, where's my thumb going? It's going to be different for everyone. Just don't worry about it. Okay, so it's a really important little part of the piece of the puzzle that you need to figure out kind of on your own, really. So first thing, the thicker string. When you play that one, if it's dead like this, it's the second finger's up too far and is touching that string. So just bring it back down. So you've got that open string ringing nice and clear. When we're testing the fifth string, if that one's feeling a bit dead, it's probably you're not pressing hard enough, because there's not much else that can go too wrong with that one. If you're really far back, you'll probably get this sort of sound. So you want to bring it up as far forward as you can, and then just don't press too hard. Okay, we're not into pressing really hard all the time. We want to press as lightly as we can while still getting a good note. Okay, they're still getting a good note as lightly as you can.
I don't really know what
important.
a good note is. So.
The note on your third finger on the fourth string, probably not going to have too many problems with that one. As long as you've positioned it right next to the fret, you'll be fine. If you've gone over, you get this sort of slightly dead sound. So just behind the fret is where you want it. Now, the third string, this is the most common problem note for beginners, and it's usually the third finger leans over too far. So just like underneath here, underneath.
I thought that was the third string.
Be touching that string underneath. So you really got to just make sure that you get your third finger nicely on the tip. Okay? Don't let it be flat like this. It wants to be right on the tip of that third finger. As long as you've done that, you should find that note's okay, because the first finger note, there's not too many other obstructions there other than that third finger ringing down. When we go to test the second string, if that's not ringing out, it's almost certainly going to be first finger. So the first finger is laying a little bit too flat again. You just want to get it right up on the tip. And if the thinner string's ringing out, it's probably this part of your hand, the underneath of your second or first finger is going to be.
Sounds okay to me.
There. So you just need to bring this part, like kind of your knuckles forward a little bit. Generally, you want to have a little bit of space in here. Not like, I can't quite get my finger right the way through there. It's just a little space, but basically this part of your hand shouldn't be touching on the fretboard. It should just be a little gap there.
Yeah.
Right on it, not like right far away. You're just trying to, you know, a few millimeters.
No, I can't point all the way through.
It doesn't have to be much, just so it's not touching. So when you're practicing your chord now, for your chord practice, you're going to strum. Pick the notes out one at a time.
Oh, no.
Sound like this, and then you have to go through and third finger up and
yeah.
first finger up, and then when you've got that sounding good, Then you give it a strum again and you tell yourself, this is how I want you to go, fingers. Remember this position. It's a really important part of the journey, is that final strum and just telling yourself, this is how I want you to go, fingers, and trying to memorize where they're at. Memorizing the chord shape is, of course, really important. You shouldn't be moving on to the next lesson until you've memorized your chords. You shouldn't be having to look at the page beyond like the first couple of days of your practice. Okay, so memorizing the shape of the chord, really, really important as well.
I think I have for A definitely, and D, and I'll probably remember E as well. By the way, my mic is probably going to be some problems with the mic because, well, I don't have headphones on because my PC tower is all the way down there and it's just kind of awkward to film, basically. So I'm just a bit too far away from the headphones, and when I do use the headphones they kind of disconnect for some reason at this point. So that was the E chord. E chord, anchors and tricks. Should I go into that one next?